Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Yoga with Anna, your self-care doula. And I'm so happy to be back. It is Wednesday, our reset day, so that we can regulate our nervous systems and boost our immune system so that we can finish the week strong. So today, Sandy's not here. Hi, Sandy. Sending you love wherever you are. So announcements. We'll begin with announcements. We have the midweek vibe check with Matt tonight at 6:30. No rush to get here at 6:30. It starts at 7, but take your time. And remember to RSVP so that we know you're coming to each event is what we recommend. And then Friday, we are having a community circle to talk about fundraising. We are having a fundraiser on April 19th, which is a Saturday, where we will be accepting cash donations or service donations. Like I am going to be offering an hour of yoga with me, yoga therapy, whatever you choose, but it's an hour with me. And we're also going to be collecting gift baskets, and it's going to be awesome. So we wouldn't be able to do this without our community. So anything, even the smallest of donation, is very much appreciated. Saturday, we have DJ Drama coming back, and DJ Real Drama coming back. Sorry, Fran. And that's going to be awesome because DJ Real Drama is amazing. He brings the vibe, just as all amazing DJs that we have here on Soul Saturday. And why should you support Soul Saturday? You should support Soul Saturday because that is the day where we bring in awesome spinning music on our turntables, on the turntable altar here. And it's a day where we come into community and congregate and feed off the music, raise the vibration, and come in and check it out. It's an awesome vibe. RSVP if you are coming. I love Soul Saturdays when I can, we're such in our fast life, day-to-day responsibilities, that Saturday is a wonderful day to just come unwind, have some great conversations, maybe some nibbles, and vibe to the music to feel better. Why? And I'll tell you why. And I love this because, and it's on our website, author unknown, because music speaks what cannot be expressed, soothes the mind and gives it rest, heals the heart and makes it whole, flows from heaven to your soul. So come Soul Saturday. It is an amazing vibe. All right, so how are we doing? How are we feeling? Are we feeling tired? Are our allergies bothering us like they are me today? And you're going to feel your body a little bit tired. If not, that's amazing. And you don't have any allergies, you're so lucky. Yeah, so let's reset the week. Let's recalibrate. And what I thought I would bring in today, I thought I would bring in low back work. I often hear complaints about back pain. Back pain is awful. Back pain, any kind of pain doesn't feel good. But when it comes to our back, it really impedes our bending over. If we sit a lot, our back hurts. So we need to vary our positions because we can be uncomfortable, could even hurt in bed. So keeping those hamstrings loose and stretched out is very helpful, along with use of the core to support the low back. So that's very, very important. If you carry heavy things, knowing that you're supporting your low back, if you're not wearing some kind of like support around the low back, is super important. We often forget to use our legs and we grab heavy stuff like groceries from our back, and that can strain our back. So using our legs to lift, engaging the core when you're doing these things, and supporting your low back by doing like stretches like we're going to do today. So whether you're practicing yoga with me, you want to call it stretching, whatever it is, You are supporting your body, your mind, and your spirit when it comes to releasing the muscles and getting those things unstuck from the body, including the low back. Because remember, negative experiences can get stuck in the body, and the body keeps the score. And there is a book out there called that. So the body keeps track of everything. So let's come together and begin with breath awareness, and then we will come onto our backs to begin. We'll begin seated, and then we'll get onto our backs. So let's come to a comfortable position, whether you are seated in a chair, on a mat, or in bed, or wherever you are, and you come as you are, always welcome to just be mindfully sitting and beginning to come to your breath awareness. I invite you to soften your gaze or close your eyes. And notice how you're breathing without judgment. Hands relaxed. Noticing where your shoulders are stacking. Maybe they're forward. Bring them back to stack over the hips. A little length of the crown as the body settles into your breath. As we always do together, coming into our intention. So dropping into our heart space. How are we feeling? And how are our intentions going to guide us today and every day? Nice deep breath in. Slow exhale out. And opening your eyes when you're ready. I'm going to bring my hands at the heart center to honor you. Welcome and namaste. I'm so grateful you're here. So we're going to begin by stimulating the body and just giving our body a little bit of care. So soft, gentle touch is very wonderful for the nervous system. So let's begin by rubbing the knees. So just gentle palms, and if they're cold, rub your hands really fast, warm them up, and then place them on your knees. So while you're doing this and bringing some care to your body, take a moment here to come back to your heart space with your breath. And I invite you to think of a moment in your life that brought you complete joy, complete love, elevating those emotions of love and joy as you think of that place where you felt that moment, elevating our emotions as you bring those thoughts in. When I think of my moment, I always go to my son's eyes and having his eyes look back at me, and that brings me so much joy. And you can feel it in your body. And so that's what I'm inviting you to do. So take a moment here to feel that love in your body, in your heart, and notice that these elevated emotions and what we're bringing in at this moment is going to raise our frequency. So, and this is with intention to raise the frequency. So that's what you're transferring from your hands to your body as you elevate your emotions and come into this place of love and joy. So bring in that elevated energy, little circles around the knees. And, you know, you can bend the knee and circle your hands. You can support the knee with your hand underneath. And then the other one. And then maybe bending both knees and gently sweeping the legs, and you can take an up and down motion on the sides and bring it up to the hips, and then gently rubbing the sides of the hips. And remember, we're still in that elevated love state, and we're going to carry that through this hour. So sweeping the legs and then bending any leg and interlacing the fingers, and then gently squeezing the outsides of the leg to stimulate the meridian. So you might find a tender spot, and what I would recommend, if you do find a tender spot, to hang out there. Hang out there, rub the hand or the palm in to that tight spot, and then release, and then begin to take those hands down. So just giving yourself a little bit of love, waking up the body. And then the opposite way, we can squeeze the outsides of the thighs, just traveling up and squeezing the outside. So stimulating those meridians that are riding on the outline of our bodies. Yes, we are going to also get into the feet. All right, so sweep that leg and switch. Interlace the fingers and gently wrap the hands around the front of the leg, and then begin to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and then take it all the way down. So just a little bit of body awareness, just to notice what you're feeling when you're pressing in. Again, if there's a tender spot, you can apply a little bit of pressure there and hang out there, maybe rub the palm into it gently just to loosen up and create a flow with that meridian. So letting the energy flow, and that's what we're doing. We're waking up the body, waking up the meridians. Sweep it and connecting with our meridians, and then interlace the fingers underneath the thigh and squeeze, and then use both hands to squeeze and wake up the outsides where the meridians lie, and then again bringing it to the hip area, and then sweeping the legs. All right, to the feet. So to the feet, again, we can take both feet, and we can take both feet and do it at the same time. All right, so we're going to bring the feet together, and if this is uncomfortable, you can do one foot at a time. We're going to begin by putting a little bit of pressure from our thumb into the heel and wrapping our hand just around the foot a little bit so that we can squeeze and press. And you can do this at the same time. And then travel that thumb center of the foot all the way up. So we've done this before on other episodes. I bring in self-care, massage. Giving a little attention to your body is so important, and connecting with your body is so important. Releasing those tense areas of the body. So walk the thumbs up and down, and then squeeze the tops of the feet and the ankles, and then squeeze the heel, and then go back to the press. So pressing and maybe circling the thumbs on the heel, finding that center line in the foot, and traveling up the feet. We're going to take the thumb and bring it into the pad of the big toe. So we're going to gently press there, and we can just move the thumbs up and down, and then the next pad. And then again, we're squeezing the tops of the toes too, those knuckles. All right, and then pull on your toes. Little pull, little pull. Oh, this little piggy went there, this, that. Okay, and do the same thing, other side. So you can do this to yourself, or you can have your partner pull your toes or help you massage your feet if you're lucky to have a partner to do that. All right, so upper body. Upper body, we do the same thing. So we're going to go gently and squeeze, squeeze. So we're going to squeeze the outsides of the arm, any arm you can start with, and going to the top. So just gently, just like we did the shin and the thigh, gently squeezing and waking up those points in the body, including the hand. And then just doing it on one side, taking the thumb and gently pressing into the palm and going in a circle. So I'm circling here, and right below the thumb. Our hands work hard every day. Texting, grabbing, gripping. So give your hands some love and then gently pull on the fingers, squeezing them if that feels better than pulling. Same with the toes. All right, so the other side. A gentle squeeze would begin. You can begin at the top or the bottom of the arm. You can start from the shoulder. All depends on how you're feeling. It's your body. Do what feels good to you. I'm just your guide. So I'm really excited about this fundraiser and donating an hour because we get to explore yoga together with any concerns that you would bring to me, and we can chat about it and move the body or go into meditation, which is wonderful. I facilitate meditation. So now we're going into the hands and gently circling that thumb in the lower pads of the hand, and then going back to the upper pads just below the fingers, and then squeezing and squeezing the fingers. So yeah, that brings me some time to spend with someone, learning about your body, learning about your breath, which is beautiful. All right, so hands can come together, lace the fingers and gently flip the palms forward and stretching the arms forward. Give a little finger stretch and then release and rotate the wrists and shake it out. All right, so neck area, little squeeze at the top. So I'm taking my opposite hand, going to the area of the shoulder, also where the neck meets the shoulder. So squeeze there, and also a little squeeze at the neck. And then just noticing if you're noticing any tenderness, just taking little notes of what your body's saying. Squeeze, 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 and then other side. Squeeze. So you can play some music in the background while you do this. Take this time to yourself. You can use a little massage oil if you like to do this. This is your self-care time. So it's so nice that this streams on YouTube as well. So if you don't have the time right now in the middle of the day, like we're all busy, then you can watch it later. All right, so hands around the muscles of the neck area. So I'm taking my 4 fingers and taking them behind the ear and gently dragging those fingers down. So we're releasing the muscles in the neck, releasing any tension that's there. Remember to note those areas of tenderness. And we're also loosening up the body. So this is working up towards releasing the low back. So these meridians help loosen up the body and create a better flow of energy through the body. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze if that's comfortable to the top base, to the base of the skull. And then take your forefinger and thumb and wrap them around your earlobes and then gently tug those earlobes down. And then travel the fingers up the edge of the ear and pull downward. And that also eases anxiety. If you're feeling any tension, anxiety, this really helps release that. All right. Beautiful. So let's rub our hands together. And then we're going to place the palms just over the hollows of our eyes. Just gently covering the eyes and feeling the heat and the energy of your hands. Nice deep breaths. And then you can stay there as long as you'd like and then release. And then hang out there for a while until you're ready to join us on the mat. So we're going to come to our backs. Find the center of your mat. You can do this in bed as well. And take a moment here to feel your body lengthen. You've been sitting for a little while, so allow the hips to gently ease. You can lengthen one leg at a time. And then take the arms over the head to lengthen and take a full body stretch. Lengthen, lengthen, so you feel all those meridians are nice and open after that self-care massage. Lengthen, lengthen. And then lower the arms by your side and gently lengthen right leg and then lengthen left. And then bend the knees and take the knees into chest. A little tuck of the chin, a little rock side to side. You can squeeze in if you'd like, lengthening the low back and a slight tuck of the chin. Drop the shoulders down towards the mat and gently releasing hands on tops of the knees, knee circles. So I haven't forgotten that this is a focus on our low back. So we're going into our low back with a little looser of a body by giving ourselves that massage and allowing the muscles to begin to relax and ease, so that when we move, our body isn't as tight or tightening if there's any pain. All right, so you can separate the knees here and circle in opposite directions, and then clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, and then take the legs up to the sky. You can support your legs with your hands behind your thighs, or you can take your arms by your side. You can separate the feet if that feels better, and bend the knees as much as it feels good. Press the heels towards the sky. Point and flex when you're ready, and rotate those ankles both directions. And then float the legs down to the mat. And here we are in a little bridge position. Arms can be anywhere, windshield wiper, side to side. So take those legs slowly and gently from one side to the next. So if this doesn't feel good on your low back, just gently move the legs side to side in small movements. You don't have to take them all the way down. So remember, this is your practice. Add whatever variation. If something doesn't feel good in the body, change it up, do what works for you. All right, so taking those legs side to side, and then extending the legs, taking a full body stretch. All right, so when my low back is bothering me, I like to take my knee into chest and the slight tuck of the chin, draw those shoulders down, pull the navel in, flex both feet. So I'm not going to take you into a twist just yet. That is part of my low back routine, release, just because we need to warm up the spine a little bit before we come into any twisting. Take that left knee to chest. Squeeze in, tuck the elbows, tuck the chin if you feel it up here. Just gently tuck it and draw those shoulders down. And release. Lengthen for a full body stretch. And then let's take the feet into a butterfly position. Arms can be anywhere that's comfortable for you. If you want to, lay the hands on the lap, using the weight of the hands to gently guide the legs with gravity down towards the earth. You can do that, or you can take the arms over the head. Do what feels good, or you can place your hands on your abdomen or your heart, or just your abdomen. Take a moment here. And just opening the hips gently. And then release. Hands support the legs to bring the legs back up. Knees are still bent, arms by your side. We're going to do gentle pelvic tilt rotations. So when there is a lot of pain, sometimes just gentle, small movements help release the low back. So we're tilting the hips forward without lifting the hips off the mat, and then tilting the hips back, creating an arch in the spine. Use your breath to follow your movement. These movements are great after a long day of work, or in the middle of a day, or in the morning before you begin your day. And then tilt the hips forward and hold here. We're lengthening the sacrum, lengthening those muscles. Nice deep breaths. Feeling the low back lengthen, creating a flat spine in the low back. And then gently release. All right, so we're going to take the knees to one side, and I'm going to roll over. And if you have back pain, what I highly recommend when you're on the floor and lifting back up is to use the strength of your arms to push up. So what I do is I lift, I use my elbow first to press myself up, and then I bring one hand down, and then I use the other to walk back up. And then that way you're not straining your back. Every time you do this, you're straining the back, and actually that doesn't really feel good. I mean, some people like to do it. That's okay. Do it. Do you, right? So in order to avoid the strain doing this, just roll over and gently walk the hands to seated. All right, so we're going to warm up the spine. Come to a tabletop position. Shoulders over the wrists, spread the fingers nice and wide. And then hips over the knees, and we begin. So remember, if you want to add the toe stretch, you can by curling the toes under, or you can leave the feet flat. On the inhale, let the abdomen drop towards the earth, tilt the tail, and take the gaze up to the sky. Pull the navel in to support your core. Exhale, gently coming into neutral spine. If this is what works for you, you're good there. Or if rounding feels even better, you can tuck the chin and then round in and tuck the tail. Inhale, lengthen and extend, taking the gaze up, tilting the tail, pull the navel in, come into neutral spine or round in. So find your flow here. Inhaling as you extend, exhaling as you come to neutral spine or round. So you're going to see that a lot of these movements we do all the time. So all of these movements support the low back. in a yoga practice. So if you noticed, I just took my gaze down a little bit, and what I was doing was just reading my spine. So taking in some information just by noticing what feels good in my spine as I move. And this is the mind-body connection that you're creating through this practice, observing and noticing what is in tension, what is tense, and what is at ease. All right, so let's come back to center and begin to circle the hips. All right. Okay, so we're going to come to a forward fold. So if you are used to a practice of flowing from tabletop into downward facing dog and then walking the hands to meet feet to meet the hands, excuse me. You can do that and flow into that. Or if you want to just lift yourself up and walk to the top of the mat, however you're comfortable, you can do. So just meeting me up there. So I'm going to curl my toes under, lift the knees to hover a little bit, pulling in the core. So I give the core a little love, and then gently take my hips up and back. And if it feels good, you can lengthen here by walking in place a little bit, walking your dog, and then meet me at the top of the mat for a forward fold. All right, so here we are lengthening the hamstrings, opening up the low back. So all of this is opening. Allow gravity to do the work by letting your head feel heavy. And if this doesn't feel good, or you got sinus things going on because of the allergies, lift the body up a little bit and just let the arms dangle. So remember, do what's comfortable for you. Taking those nice deep breaths, pull the navel in and notice what shifts when you pull the navel in, and then lengthen the crown towards the earth. Soft bend in the knees, and then you can bend one knee and then the other. Forward fold, let the head fall. Hands come to the shins, coming to a half lift. And then let's root to rise. Bring those arms all the way up, or you can roll up slowly. Bring the arms up, palms touch, palms come to heart. So I invite you to take a moment here. You can bring your arms by your side, just to notice what you're feeling in the low back area, what's speaking, what is quiet. Letting your breath flow. So again, we're coming back to that emotion of love. We're elevating the emotions here to raise the frequency of our magnetic field, our energy body, so that we can bring that love and care into the areas of our body that need it. I'm really into Joe Dispenza recently, well, all the time, but he says, and I love saying this, is where awareness goes, energy flows. So if you're feeling your low back, bring the awareness to your low back, lengthen through the crown. As you inhale and lengthen, and you exhale, send love to your low back, to your legs, to your whole body. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Send love to your whole body or that low back. On the next breath, inhale, arms come up. Let the palms touch and gently reach back. If that doesn't feel good, just lengthen up towards the sky. From here, let's take a swan dive down, bend the knees, come all the way down, and take your forward fold. Again, lengthening the hamstrings. If your hands are coming down and touching the floor, you can take your hands behind your heels and then lengthen the crown of the head. Nice deep breath in to lengthen and gently draw yourself closer to the earth, lengthening the low back. Gently releasing, hands on the shins, half lift. Exhale, let's plant the palms. Both feet step back and drop the knees. Take the hips back and take a bow, lengthen the arms. All right. Let's walk the hands a little further forward, curl the toes under, and shift the hips back. Take a puppy pose. Lengthen through the hips, draw those hips back, and then really grip the mat like you're about to pull it towards you, but hands stay in place. And then walk the hands back to center. All right, so continuing to release the low back, we're going to do hip rotations. So take that right leg back and lengthen, square the hips to the mat, bend the knee, and circle the hips. So now we're involving the pelvis and the joint, the hip joint, getting in the muscles around the low back, because we also need to support the surrounding muscle groups. So go in both directions and then lengthen that leg, drop the toes down, press through the heel and lengthen the leg, press through the heel. You'll feel the calf muscle stretch. And then bring that leg back. All right, lengthening left leg. Toes point down, square the hips, bend the knee, and begin to circle, rotate the hip. And you're just gazing at the top of your mat or between the hands, both directions, and then lengthen the leg, drop the toes down to the earth, and press through the heel. Nice deep breaths. And then bring that leg back. Find the knees about hip distance apart and circle the hips. So really getting into the side of the hips. The front of the hips as we lean forward and press the hips forward. So we're feeling that right here, gently. And then taking the hips back. All right, so walk the hands just about a step forward and then lengthen here. And then shift the hips back. Walk the hands to the knees. And we're in seated position. So if this is challenging, use a block to lift your seat or a pillow or a bolster. If you have blocks, you can adjust the height depending on how it feels comfortable to you. And lengthen here. Hands on the lap. A nice deep breath and a slight tuck of the tail as I rotate the hips inward. And then a gentle rotation out. So we did this on the mat and now we're doing it in seated. And then come back to center, shift the hips to one side and lengthen the legs. Find your center of your mat. So we're back to like where we began. All right, but we're still working on the hamstrings here. The hamstrings do have a lot to do with the low back. They tighten the more you sit, the more they tighten. So Stan, this would be great for you. All right, so in Dandasana or staff pose, arms by your side, you're lengthening through the crown, shoulders back and down, and then take the arms up, and we're going to take a gentle hinge forward. So take the hinge from the hips, not the low back. So not reaching this way, but lengthening out of the hips and hinging forward. Where the hands land is up to you, and just make it comfortable. Because what we're doing here, if it feels uncomfortable, is just lengthening this part of the spine, the low spine. If you can reach the outsides of your feet, great, lengthen. So also what you can do is bend the knees and reach for the feet, if that's accessible for you. Otherwise, let the hands land wherever. Feel that lift out of the hips and hinge. Flex the feet. I like to peace finger my toes. I'm going to gently lengthen here and hinge at the hips. Not too deep, just enough where you feel a nice little stretch. And release. Take that right foot, sole of the foot into the inner left thigh. So now we're making a nice 90-degree angle with our legs. Flex that left foot, take the arms up, turn towards the thigh, lengthen out of the hips with another breath and hinge. Reach wherever the hands land. You can also bend the knee and reach and begin to press it away slowly. As you begin to lengthen the hamstrings, then you begin to extend the leg. Nice deep breath in to lengthen again, so wherever the hands land, and take a bow. Little drop of that right shoulder down. And deep breaths. Feel the flexion of the foot so that you feel that lengthening in the hamstrings. And gently release. Take the arms up, lengthen again, and release the arms down. Switch sides. Left sole of the foot nicely tucked into the inner leg of the right thigh and inside of that right thigh. Take the arms up, flex that right foot, turn towards the thigh, lengthen out of the hips, and wherever the hands land is just fine. Do what works for you and what feels good to you. Again, you can bend the knee as much as you need and begin to lengthen. Take a nice deep breath, lengthen through the crown, coming out of the hips and forward folding over that right thigh. Drop that left shoulder down and use your breath. Gently release, walk the hands back and up, and float the arms down. A little widening of the hips as we take the soles of the feet back together. You can walk the buttocks towards the heels or wherever you are. If it's out here, you're just fine too. And you can flutter if that's comfortable for you. Wrap the hands, interlace the fingers if you'd like, or wrap the hands around the feet. Lengthen through the crown and then let the legs flutter. So you'll feel that right in the groin of the legs. Nice deep breath in and out. And release. Support the legs and bring those legs up, arms behind you, and windshield wiper side to side. Take the feet wide. to the edge of the mat, and then same thing, a little side to side motion with the legs. And then if it feels good to you and you want to try this, you can take the knees all the way to the right side, and that'll just lift you from one side, dropping that knee down, and just move with your body, just giving a little more mobility to the hips, and then switch sides. And then switch sides. If you want to add an element, you can actually take the foot and give yourself a little quad stretch. Not a requirement, but you can if you'd like. And then switch and take it to the other side. I'll even out since I did the left side, I'll do the right side. So go where you feel that quad stretch if you're doing this. So notice that I didn't feel it here, so I brought the knee back a little bit and then pulled the heel towards my buttocks, and now I feel it all in here. You can flex the foot too, and that will also change the stretch, and then release, bring the leg back, and windshield wiper side to side. Okay, so let's come onto our backs. Take a full body stretch. And we're going to go into a twist. So there's two twists that we can do. Let's do this one first. We'll take the right knee to chest, lengthen that left leg. And again, notice you're lengthening those low back muscles. And then we're going to take that right knee to the left side body to give our low back a nice little stretch. Take the arm, that right arm to the right side, and take your gaze to the right side. Release, come back to center, a gentle squeeze in, and release, lengthen, left knee to chest, squeeze in, and take your twist. Guide that knee to the right side body, lengthen left arm, and take the gaze to the left fingertips. Come back to center, squeeze in, flex both feet and lengthen through that right leg, and then take a full body stretch. Lengthen that left leg down, arms over the head, and stretch in opposite directions. Bring the arms by your side. Bend the knees. Okay, so I didn't add in back strengtheners today, where usually we're on our abdomens and doing those kind of back bends, because even though those are great for strengthening the back, if you're feeling pain, that might not feel good. Compression in the spine might not feel good. So that's why we're skipping those movements today and just working with lengthening the low spine and giving it a little love. All right, so we're going to go into a supine pigeon, taking that right ankle to the left thigh. Let that right knee fall open. Weave the hands underneath, through the legs, underneath that left thigh, and you can lift the leg up to reach. So notice as I'm reaching, my chin is popping up. So as I begin to pull, I'm going to lower the chin so that now my cervical spine is aligned with the rest of my spine. I'm going to leverage that right elbow to help open up the hip a little bit and bring that left leg towards you. Flex both feet. Drop the shoulders down and use your breath here. So our buttocks also need a little love to support our low back. And if we sit a lot and we're not giving any love to our glutes, that can also cause tension in the low spine. So getting our glutes to engage is very important. So here we're giving a nice stretch. And this is passive, we're not squeezing, but we will once we come into the next, after we even out on the other side. So let's release here. And switch. Left ankle, top of right thigh. Weave the hands through the legs to interlace the fingers underneath that right thigh. Flex both feet and gently pull. Tuck the chin, drop the shoulders down. And again, you could create a little movement here or extend that right leg up to the sky if you'd like. Micro movements, little tiny movements make a difference too. So just notice even the smallest movements and how they change the stretch. Maybe pull a little bit more and then release. So you might hear some cracking or the low back loosening and readjusting. That's normal because your body is readjusting and stretching. Take a full body stretch, unless it's pain. Obviously, we don't want to go there. Okay, so bridge pose. Have a little time for this. So this is where we're going to engage the glutes and give the glutes some love to support our low back. Arms by our side on the in-breath. So feet are hip distance apart, arms by our side, palms down. Walk the soles of the heels towards the buttocks as close as possible, where the fingers are just grazing so they can be a little bit forward. But make sure that the feet are about hip distance apart and that the toes are pointing forward. On the lift, you're going to feel the knees draw forward, the hips are going to go up, and the chest is going to travel towards the chin. Do not turn your neck any which way, side to side, while you're in this position, because you can injure your cervical spine, your neck. So be safe. All right, so I'm not going to turn and face the camera either. On the inhale, gently lift the hips up, take the chest towards the chin, let the knees draw forward, and squeeze at the top, and breathe. You can also interlace the hands underneath the back if that feels good, tucking the shoulders underneath, and then lift a little bit more, squeeze, and release the hands if you've taken the interlace, and slowly lower down. Release the legs. You can windshield wiper or take a full body stretch. And then come back, bend the knees, walk the heels back towards the buttocks, find your position. And second set, inhale, lift the hips up, take the knees forward as the chest travels towards the chin, and a little squeeze at the top, just as far as you're comfortable. One more breath, and slowly lower. Bring the knees into chest and squeeze into a little ball. Tuck the chin, drop the shoulders down, rock side to side. Release the legs and rock side to side. Legs up to the sky. Press the heels up and just notice how much looser your hamstrings feel. Maybe there's more relief in the low back. Rotate the ankles. And then float the legs back down to the mat. A little windshield wiper if you'd like. And then we come to Shavasana. Take your arms by your side. So any last movements that you would like to make, you're very welcome to do. Or drop down into Shavasana, arms by your side, letting the body completely come into a resting pose so that we can begin to absorb all the benefits of the movement we just did in this last hour. Begin to feel the eyes soften, maybe closing, letting the eyes sink into their sockets. Release any tension in the hands Maybe placing the hands wherever it's comfortable for you or just by your side. Maybe taking a blanket over you or covering your feet with socks if they're not covered. Just feeling nice and cozy in your Shavasana. And I invite you to revisit your intention. Say some kind words to yourself and come back to that elevated emotion of love. Let the toes fall open. Feel heavy through the body, but light in the mind. Remember, you can stay here as long as you would like. We have a nice amount of time in Shavasana today, so really enjoy this time on your mat. A typical Shavasana is about 7 minutes. And let the body completely release. So feel that low back tension release. Release the buttocks. And if it feels good, even drawing on those emotions and bringing the awareness to the low back or wherever you need support in your body, in your mind, and remembering where the awareness goes, the energy flows, and that's the intention that we're doing here with bringing that awareness to the low back with our breath, sending love there with that elevated emotion of gratitude, love, and joy into your body, helping relieve the pain through the release of any inflammation just by changing the frequency, sending love to ease any inflammation, discomfort. Wherever your body may need it. Send love and joy and gratitude. Thank your spine for carrying you every day. Visualize your spine healthy, your low back healthy and mobile, pain-free. Feel the tongue heavy, and the back of the tongue heavy. Feel the support underneath your body completely, and feel supported in all aspects of your life with love, joy, and gratitude to surround your being. And just like I showed you, gently bringing back awareness, bending the knees, rolling over to one side and gently walking your hands to lift your body up and into seated position. Hands at the heart. I want to thank you for dedicating this hour to yourself and your self-care. I'm always here to support you. Find me online, and I will be back next week. From my heart to yours, a deep, deep, deep love and gratitude to you. Namaste.